Hello and a massive welcome, everyone. Lex here. And I'm Vera. We're your hosts from the Excel Edge podcast show. And we are just so thrilled to be talking to all you aspiring Filipino real estate salespeople, agents, and realtors today. Mabuhay. Seriously, we're excited for this deep dive. We've tailored it specifically for you navigating the very dynamic Philippine real estate scene.
Exactly.
And if you're new here, the deep dive is where we take a whole bunch of info today. It's a guide and pull out the really important bits. Yeah, the interesting stuff you need to know. Think of it like your shortcut to getting smart on a topic fast. And today's topic, we know it's a big one, becoming a part-time real estate agent. Is it actually viable, especially for you, thinking about the Filipino market? Our main source for this chat is an article from Rent Spree. It's called The Essential Guide to Becoming a Part-Time Real Estate Agent. So that's our roadmap, part-time real estate. It sounds really appealing, right? That flexibility. Totally. It's an idea of a side hustle, maybe bringing in extra income or even like a first step towards a full-time career in the industry, right? Fitting it around your life, maybe showing a place Saturday morning or doing lead follow-ups on your lunch break, integrating it, not, completely changing everything.
Absolutely. And it's not just a nice idea. It's quite established. We see stats, something like 22% of agents identify as part-time.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you look at, say, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, they define part-time as under 35 hours a week.
Right.
And the National Association of Realtors, AR in the U.S., they report most agents work around that 35-hour mark anyway, so you don't have to be full-time 40-plus hours to make it work.
Okay, so that brings us to the big question for you listening, especially those of you in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Is this part-time path realistic for you?
Yeah.
Let's dig in. That flexibility point you mentioned earlier, it's huge. The Rent Spree article puts it nicely. What makes part-time real estate so attractive is that it's flexible, quick to start, and can bring in extra cash, weaving it into your life, building income.
Let's see.
It's powerful.
It really is. And about that extra cash, well, let's look at some numbers. Now, remember, these are U.S. figures.
Okay. Yeah, important context.
Super important. You must research the potential in the Philippines specifically, but just for a general idea. Yep. Surveys in the U.S. suggest agents working under 20 hours might earn around, say, $21,000 a year.
Okay.
And those working maybe 21 to 39 hours could potentially see something closer to $63,000. Again, U.S. figures, highly variable depending on the market, your effort.
Right, $21K for less than 20 hours. That sounds good, but it probably takes serious effort and the right market. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It underlines that even part-time requires real dedication to see those returns. It's not passive.
And that really clicks with what we see in the Filipino market, doesn't it? That drive for extra income, more flexibility, exploring new options without dropping everything immediately. Okay, let's switch gears. Practical stuff. Getting started. The cost, that's always a big question. The license cost.
Mm-hmm.
The article gives a U.S. range like $3,000 to $5,000
yes,
plus.
U.S. dollars. And again, for you in the Philippines, you absolutely need to check the specific fees with the PRC, the Professional Regulation Commission. Think of this U.S. range as just outlining the types of costs.
Okay, so what kinds of costs are we talking about generally?
Well, in the U.S. system, you've got your pre-licensing course fees. That can be anywhere from like $150 up to maybe $1,000 USD.
Wow, big range.
It is. Then the exam fee itself may be $60 to over $600 per try.
Per try? Ouch.
Yeah. Plus background checks, application fees, maybe another $100, $125. And then the state license fee itself may be $100 to $300 or more.
So it's an investment up front.
Definitely an investment. But you're investing in a potential income stream, one with flexibility.
And are there ongoing costs too, like joining groups?
Good point. Yes. Things like joining professional associations or getting access to the multiple listing service, the MLS.
Right, the MLS. That's a big database of listings, yeah. So agents can share.
Exactly. It gives you access to way more properties. The article uses the U.S. NAR fee as an example, like $156 plus a $45 assessment.
So different fees in the Philippines probably, but similar types of ongoing costs.
Precisely. And the time it takes to get licensed, that varies too. Could be a few weeks, could be several months.
Depends on how fast you do the course, pass the exam.
Exactly, and the local admin process. So for listeners in the Philippines, definitely connect with the PRC to get the real timelines and steps there. Same for the U.S., check your specific state.
Okay, so time and money invested.
Mm-hmm.
What about the potential payoff?
The earnings? Yeah, the article says it's mostly commission-based, right? So not a steady paycheck.
That's a critical point. It's variable. ZipRecruiter apparently estimates the U.S. average for part-time agents around $85,793 a year.
That sounds pretty good.
It does, but they also show a huge range, like $28,500 on the low end, up to almost $150,000.
Whoa. Okay, so it really depends.
Massively. Depends on your market, your effort, and crucially, your commission split with your brokerage. Understanding that variability is key for realistic expectations.
Okay, commission split. How does that usually work? Where does the money come from? The article mentioned a typical total commission in the US, like 5.32%.
Around that, yeah. And that's typically split between the seller's agent, the listing agent, and the buyer's agent.
The article suggests maybe 2.74% for the listing side, 2.58% for the buyer side. But, and this is super important, your brokerage takes a cut of your share.
Ah, right, the brokerage. The
Yeah.
company you work under.
Exactly. They provide support, training, let you operate legally, so your actual take-home pay depends on the split you agree with them.
That sounds like a really important conversation to have before joining a brokerage.
Absolutely crucial. And again, commission structures might differ in the Philippines, so do your local homework there.
Got it. Now, the big balancing act. Can you really do this part-time with a full-time job? The article says yes, if.
If you have excellent time management, that's the key, and a flexible, organized schedule.
Because real estate isn't always 9 to 5.
Not at all. Lots happens evenings, weekends, showings, open houses, which can actually fit well around a standard job.
True.
But you need to be super organized and communicate really clearly with clients about when you are available. Imagine trying to book a showing when you both work the same hours.
Yeah, communication's vital.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not all easy. What
Yeah.
are the downsides, the challenges? The article lists a few cons, like limited availability to clients. If you have another job, you can't always drop everything.
Exactly. And that can lead to another challenge, income variability. Fewer hours, less flexibility might mean deals take longer, making income less predictable, especially at first.
And finding a brokerage. The article mentioned some might not be keen on part-timers.
That can be a hurdle. Brokerages invest time and resources in training, so they might prefer agents who are, fully dedicated time-wise.
So what's the advice there? If you want to be part-time, how do you find the right brokerage?
Well, I'd say be upfront about it. Look for brokerages that maybe mention working with part-timers or that offer flexible training. Talk to other part-time agents in your area. They'll know who's supportive.
Good tips.
What else?
Staying current. Oh yeah, the market changes constantly.
Yeah.
Keeping up with trends, values, rules takes effort when time is tight.
Mm-hmm. And managing client expectations. People often want instant responses. You need to be clear about your schedule from the start.
It makes sense. And finally, competition. The article mentioned, what, 1.6 million agents in the U.S.?
Yeah, it's a crowded field. You're competing with full-timers and also...
Online platforms like
Oh.
Zillow and Redfin.
Exactly. They add pressure. So as a part-time agent, you really need to lean into your local knowledge, build relationships, find your niche.
Okay, so for someone listening who's thinking, all right, challenges noted, but I'm still in, what are the actual steps to get started?
Okay, step by step. First, meet the basic requirements, usually age like 18, maybe a high school diploma or GED. Check the PRC specifics in the Philippines.
Then the pre-licensing course. The article said 40 to 180 hours, covering laws, ethics, contracts.
That's the range, yes. Lots of online options mentioned for the US, like the CE Shop, Calibri. For the Philippines, find a PRC-accredited provider that fits your schedule.
After the course, find a brokerage, right? You need to work under a licensed broker.
Correct. You generally can't operate independently. Research brokerages, find one that feels like a good fit, offers training and support.
The exam, the big test.
Yep, the licensing exam from the PRC in the Philippines. Test your knowledge of laws and practices. Most courses offer prep materials.
Pass the exam, then apply for the license.
Exactly. Submit your application, proof of education, background check results, whatever's required.
Background check, right. That's usually standard.
Mm-hmm. Then, once you get your license, you might consider joining local agent associations, maybe the MLS equivalent in your area. Good for networking, listings access.
And maybe some post-licensing education required too.
Sometimes, yes, and definitely ongoing, continuing education to keep your license active and stay sharp.
Okay. Now for part-timers, time is precious. How can tech help?
Oh, technology is a huge help. The article mentions things like tenant screening tools. RentSpree itself is an example there.
Uh-huh.
Marketing automation software can save time on outreach. Scheduling apps, productivity tools, they all help you stay organized.
So using tech to streamline the admin stuff, freeing you up for clients and deals.
Precisely. And think about remote work trends, the gig economy. That whole environment makes part-time work more feasible now, more flexible.
Less reliance on being in an office all day.
Exactly.
So last big area, tips for success. How do you balance it all? Work, life, real estate.
Good question. The article has solid advice. First, plan your real estate work around your other commitments. Block out specific times.
Okay, be intentional.
Very intentional. Set clear boundaries with clients about your availability. Protect your personal time.
Consolidate tasks, like doing all your showings on one day.
If possible, yeah. It saves travel time, keeps you focused. Also, set realistic goals, especially when starting out. Don't try to do everything at once.
Makes sense. What about finding clients?
Lead generation. Explore streamlined methods. Maybe focus on social media, a good website. And always, always be transparent with your broker and clients about your availability and how you operate part-time.
And don't forget personal time.
Crucial. Make time for your life outside of work and real estate. Prevents burnout, keeps you going long-term.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Key takeaways. Part-time real estate. It offers flexibility, income potential. But it needs real commitment, great time management. You got to understand the costs, the challenges, the competition. And for our listeners in the Philippines, especially those connected with Excel Edge Realty, we really hope this helped you weigh things up. Does this fit your goals, your situation? Remember, Excel Edge focuses on mid-price to high-ticket real estate. So if that segment interests you, well, this path could be very interesting to explore with them. And if you want more info on Excel Edge and that mid to high ticket focus, check out their website, www.exceledge.com.ph. That's www.exceledge.com.ph, exceledge.com.ph. So as we finish up, if you found this useful, please hit that follow button. We'd really appreciate it. And share this chat. Share with anyone you think could benefit fellow aspiring agents, colleagues in the Philippines. Spread the knowledge.
And just one final thought for you to chew on. With the real estate world changing and part-time roles growing, what really innovative strategies could you, as an aspiring agent in the Philippines, come up with to carve out your own successful niche in today's market?